we're going to talk about quite a few things today, man. Absolutely a lot of things to talk about. And we can start off by talking about, I was right. I was right. Today, it was announced that there was a ceasefire and a peace treaty in place for Gaza and the Israeli war. I've said in 2025, 2025, the 2025 adds up to 9. 2025 adds up to 9. I told people things come to an end under 9 energy. And here we see numerology at work in the first 2 weeks, literally the first 2 weeks, they have already agreed to this. This shows you how good numerology is. Now, YouTube, I'm only going to do readings for $50 and up. So I'm not even, it is what it is. I'll get to someone on TikTok. It is what it is, but I'm only doing 50s and up. We'll start talking about, if people want me to read notes, if they're just going to do it that way, that's what. All right, let's see. What am I doing? Do you think what is it? They've weakened the masses through reincarnation? No, reincarnation is a tool that is part of the matrix itself. So it is what it is. I believe this is hell. This is hell for a lot of people. Earth is hell. I mean, you have billions and billions of people on Earth who live in poverty. I mean, a lot of people who are watching me have internet connection, so I'm going to assume you're in either first or second world countries. If you're in one of those type of countries, you usually have electricity. You usually have a refrigerator to put food in. You usually have those type of things. There's people in the world who have none of that, who have absolutely none of that. And their main objective every single day is to get up and find food and water. I don't think that's any way to live. And quite frankly, I don't think any of you think that's any way to live. So when it comes down to it, that to me would be hell. Every single day you're waking up thinking how you're going to get a meal, how you're going to feed your family, how you're going to feed your sisters and brothers. You really think that's what life is all about? So yeah, I would think the earth is heaven for some. There's some people who are living in heaven on earth. They're doing whatever they want, whatever they please. Jet skiing, flying anywhere on private jets. They're living life. Other people, not so much. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that it's heaven to some, a small minority, and hell to most, because that's what the results show me. Going back to what I was saying, what we're witnessing is real power. President Biden, if that's what you want to call him, who's in his last days of power, couldn't get the war in Gaza to come to an end since it started on October 7th, 2023. He couldn't get it to come to an end in about 15 months. Trump becomes president-elect and he says that war better end before I get in power. And today we have a peace treaty. This is what real power is. This is something we have not witnessed in a long time. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. Have you? I mean, at least not in the United States of America, that a president has that much pull and that much before he comes to office. Donald Trump is born 6/14/1946. Donald Trump is a 4-life path. What is a 4-life path about? 4-life paths is about a few things. Number one, law and order. Law and order. You're going to notice how numerology works with the number 4. It's very simple. Whenever it's the 4th, the 13th, the 31st, or any day that adds up to 4, you're going to see a lot more cops on the road. You're going to see a lot more people getting pulled over, because that's what happens under 4 energy. So people who encompass the 4 energy, tend to be very law and oriented. They believe in punishing crime. This is how numerology works. This is how it's always worked. This is how you apply it in real society. Donald Trump is also a 5 life path when it comes, well, not a life path, but he's born on the 14th. 1 in 4 is 5. What does the 5 encompass? The number of what? Travel. If you're planning a trip, the best days to travel, if you can do it, is on the 5th, 14th, 23rd of every month. That's when travel goes smoothest. That's when there's fewest delays on airplanes. Again, how the system works, because the system itself is part of the matrix. And when you're part of the matrix, that's how you move. What am I doing? I'm decoding the matrix for you right now. A numerologist is a really bad term. I was never a fan of that term at all. I don't like that term, numerologist. You know what I actually like? Decoder. But that doesn't even sound real good. But matrix decoder, that's what it comes down to. Because everything around this is the matrix, and the tools within the matrix, numerology, astrology. Those are just some. There's more. Tarot. Now, tarot is not as accurate. Tarot is a guide, but it does work. Did you know one of the first tarot card sets was made by a 33 life path? See how that works? One of the first ones was a 33 life path in numerology. What you have to understand is, if you want to edge in the matrix, you're going to have to start applying these tools within the matrix itself. We'll get to birthdays probably in about 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to go into a little monologue first. I'm going to educate you. That's my Ebonics version of saying education. You know, when people say how many languages you speak, I speak a few. I speak Russian, Kaktila. Yo, D, come here. When it comes down to numerology, I speak that language. But when it comes down to, you know, what I'm saying, how can I put this? You have to understand that the language of numerology is something that encompasses everything, but it's not the only one. You know, I speak Russian. I speak English. I speak English Ebonics. It's a language. I mean, you know, Russian and Ukrainian. They're, you know, one is kind of a slang of another. It is what it is. I know the languages. That's why I can speak on it. You know, there's sign language. You know, everyone knows what this means. That's universal. That's literally universal language. I don't have to say anything. Everyone knows what this means. Everyone knows what this means if you're in Russia. Everyone knows what that means if you're in Italy. Those are languages. Now, are they deep like numerology and astrology? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. But you know, when people talk with their hands a certain way, it also shows you that they know how to move. Because when you talk with your hands, it gives you something extra. When you go like this, when you do this, or this, how some people like to do it all the time, you know who I'm talking about. It gives you certain energy. And when it comes down to it, it's how you apply that energy. Now, for instance, there's a time and a place to use this. There really is. This is what a lot of people do. They go here and they use this symbol right here. It's a symbol of power. Here it is. And you know what? It actually works. It really does. But before you start using the symbol of power, let me just remind you, good folks, it always comes back. Look at Andrew Tate. He's the one who made this famous, and he rose to power very quickly, and then he got taken down very quickly. So when you use energies like this, there is a short-term benefit, but it's going to kick you on the backside too. There are no free meals. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? There are no free meals with this stuff. What you want is what it's going to take back. That's what happens when people play with magic and they don't even understand what the hell is going on. Now, before we go into more of the monologue, I'll read off a few birthdays. And I just want to point out, we're going to do something different today. Okay? So whoever, and first, you can also start by giving me some likes. I mean, every time I do this on TikTok, I need at least 1 million. Because what the hell am I doing out here? I need at least 1 million likes every single time on TikTok. Now, with the people on YouTube, you got to do me a favor and actually like this stuff, because, you know, if I'm going to be a clown for you and be you know, I try to be clean on here. I really do. So sometimes you're going to hear me. Okay, caught myself. This is YouTube. This is TikTok. And I will make sure to make this as clean as possible. And quite frankly, this isn't my style. I like to use a couple of profanities here and there. But I'm going to try to keep it clean. And then there's going to be times where I go in that crazy platform kick and I say whatever the hell I want. This here is not going to be one of those times. Thanks for the universe. Yep. Thanks for the universe. Appreciate it. So having said that, whoever is the top donator on YouTube and whoever is the top single donator on TikTok, again, whoever is the top single donator is going to get GG33 Academy. I want to repeat this. Whoever the top single donor is on YouTube and whoever the top single donor is on TikTok, we're going to count it as soon as the stream is over. Whoever does it gets GG33 Academy. My assistant, come here. D, you said you can find whoever the top is on both. That's not going to be a problem, is it?
No.
Okay. So whoever the top person is on TikTok and on YouTube with donations, that's what it's going to be. You're going to get GG33 Academy, whoever gets the #1 spot on both platforms. Let's go. Now, also, give me some likes on both. Let's go to business. Now, I want to take credit now because I did tell people the war in Gaza and Israel is coming to an end. I've told people this time after time on talk show after talk show. Every single time I said this war is coming to an end when Donald Trump gets elected. Now, if Harris got elected, this would not be happening. How do we know this? Because the Biden administration actually tried to take credit for this. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. The Biden administration actually tried to take credit for what happened today. Listen, that's like me taking credit for winning Mr. Olympia. Do you understand the lunacy we're talking about? Donald Trump gave a deadline of this has to happen before I get in office. And then Joe Biden tried to take credit for it about 4 days before Trump gets in office. How come it didn't happen before? How come it only happened when Donald Trump was president-elect? This is clownery. This is buffoonery. And this is stuff that you, the American people, have to call out. This is stuff that you, the people of the world, have to come out. Because right now, we have somewhat of a balance in society. You have China, which is rising, and America, which is still the superpower. Russia, quite frankly, has been neutralized. Whether they win the war in Ukraine or not doesn't matter. But guess what? That war is coming to an end too. Remember, that was my second prediction. My first prediction was the war in Gaza comes to an end. My second prediction was the war in Ukraine comes to an end. My third prediction is there will be an economic union between Canada, America, because that's how it's going to be in the future. This is numerology at work. This is what it's all about. Understanding how the knowledge works and to actually apply it in everyday life. I've told you guys many times, 9 is completion. 9 is the number of completion. I've told you guys how in 1989, 1, 9, 8, 9 adds up to 27. 2 and 7 is 9. The Berlin Wall came down. Something that divided Germany for decades came down. Why did I bring up 89? Oh, Gary, you're cherry picking. No, I'm not cherry picking at all. The fact of the matter is this. 1989 was the year of the snake. 2025 is the year of the snake. They're both universal 9 years, and that was the last universal 9 and snake year combined. If you want to find another 9 in a snake year, sure. Let's stay consistent. Let's go down to 1953. 1953 adds up to 18. 1 and 8 adds up to 9. What happened that year? What happened that year? The Korean War ended. So again, this is a consistent example, which is why I was able to say, yo, those 2 wars are coming to an end. This is the stuff that matters. This is the stuff that really matters in society. This is how you apply this stuff. I'm here to teach. I understand some of you guys think I'm a clown. I get that. It's all right. But for most of the other people who have a higher IQ level, you see how I shoot back there? The people who have the highest IQ level who are listening to me, they're the ones who are going to apply this stuff. And they're the ones who are going to succeed.